Mansfield today on a Friday, and that means we're going motoring with Siggy Mudley. Hey, Sigs.
Hello, Jim.
Nice to have you with us again, my bud.
Always a pleasure, mate.
You're on a mission here because we had a discussion a while back. Oh, I just dropped my microphone. I can put that back there. We had a discussion a while back about where the car market's going and the swing to the used car market.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And so you've now teed up Mike Bradshaw.
Yeah, that's the only used car dealer I know who will give you an honest deal. Well, I mean, not saying anybody else won't, and Mike will agree on me with this, but he's the only man I know, and as credible as he comes.
Mike, thank you very much for taking time out to join us on Mansfield today. Just by the way, I like your background, like the jersey. Yes, my man. I'm liking you even more. Okay, good.
Here we go. And that's how we start Friday.
Mike, what should people be looking for in a used car dealer?
Okay, this is a very, very open-ended question, but if I could just try and shorten and be as short and sweet as I possibly can. Most vehicle sales, used car vehicle sales, happen on the internet now. So when you are looking for a car, generally people go on to the Auto Trader. They either search on Auto Trader or cars.co.za or Automark. Now, there's a minefield here, and there's something about the human psyche that goes when it's really too good to be true. It seemingly makes intelligent people do some silly things. So depending on what you're buying, have a look at the first page, and if the deal sounds too good to be true, there's a very good chance it is. And you'll see that the pricing of those particular vehicles are between 20 and 35% cheaper than when you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page or on page number 2. So let's give an example quickly. You're looking for a 200,000 Rand vehicle for your son, daughter, wife, or yourself. And let's take an example of a Ford Fiesta or a Polo. Now, if I am selling that vehicle, and I've got the example on my floor, and that's why I'm bringing it up, I'm selling the vehicle at around 239,000 Rand, yet there are 10 examples of the exact same vehicle, but with half the mileage that I have, that are selling at between 189 and 200,000. Now, bearing in mind, I'm not making 40,000 Rand or 50,000 Rand out of a 200,000 Rand vehicle. Not at all. These particular dealers are selling vehicles cheaper than I can pay for them. So how do you find which is the right one? Google reviews, very good. The other thing that you can actually do is go and have a look for somebody that doesn't occupy the sewer rat real estate, such as Barloworld, McCarthy's, Lindsay Saker, Combined Motor Holdings. Just remember, I'm Top Gear Auto. I'm a standalone dealer, and that's not to say that standalone dealers are unreputable. It just means just be a little bit careful if the price seems too keen.
Okay. What are you finding at the moment in the second-hand car market? Are you finding that people are going for certain types of vehicle, or is there a price limit that they're coming in with? They're saying, look, this is how much I've got to spend. What have you got for that sort of price range?
Well, what we're finding, funny enough, is that I thought after COVID or after the first lockdown, I thought anything under 250,000 Rand would probably be what most families want. However, that's not the case. So to give you an example, if the car is what I deem to be a vanilla car, a Ford Figo, a Yaris, a Datsun Go, a Renault Sandero, they can all be under 250,000 Rand, and I've got them in stock, but they don't sell. funny enough, it's the more popular cars, the Ford Focus STs, the Golf GTIs, and then what's really selling remarkably well is cars above the 450,000 Rand to R1,000,000. But then that's quite specific. In Mercedes-Benz, it would be their AMG line across the board. BMW would be the M Sport, and Audi, a little bit of the red-headed stepchild, has to be X line.
Okay, and the Ginger Ninjas calls it, hey? Mike, I've just got to ask you, and you know we've done this before. We do it all the time. What is it a person who's not au fait with second-hand cars needs to look out for, and should they do the auction thing, or should they come to someone like you where they know they're guaranteed their CPA, the Consumer Protection Act, is going to be applied, or should they just buy it from their buddy around the corner who's got a good deal?
Okay, so let's start with the last question. Buying from a friend, and you know that friend very well, then you'll obviously know the history of that car very well, and you're bound to get a decent deal. Auctions, not to say that you won't get a good deal at an auction, but remember, a lot of the times when I can't sell a vehicle for whatever reason, you must remember, I don't have the proverbial crystal ball. So I will buy a car, and after buying it, I find that there perhaps is something not, it's just going to be too expensive. Yeah, 100%. I will send it to an auction and I'll sell it on the auction because that I get out of the Consumer Protection Act. Bearing in mind, when you deal with a reputable dealer, we are bound by the Consumer Protection Act. And that's peace of mind there in itself. In other words, you get not the same as a factory guarantee from a reputable dealer, but you have 6 months of, should something go wrong, you've got Big Brother to lean on to help you. But in saying that, regardless of buying a used car from a reputable dealer, I would often recommend that you take out a warranty. Like I said before, nobody has the crystal ball, and I don't know what's going to happen in a month's time or 3 months' time. And for relatively little money, between 12 and 14,000 Rand, that would cover a bolt-on warranty for roughly 2 years. So that's something else to think about. Another thing, DEKRA, go to your reputable dealer and ask for a DEKRA report. They will send it to DEKRA, and if there is anything untoward, perhaps oil leaks that we can't see, or chassis jig marks, in other words, the car's been in a major accident, that would then mitigate that problem. So those are a couple of things that most certainly look out for.
Yeah, and Mike, spending that, even if you have to pay the $700 or whatever it is for the DEKRA report, it'll be the best money you've ever spent if you get out of a lemon. Am I right?
Yes, you're quite correct. Remember, I know very few people that buy a motor vehicle and keep them for a month. The average in South Africa is between 2 years and 4 years. So it's almost like going out on a date. I mean, what before you move in, do you just say, listen, let's smooch now and pull into my posse and we're good to go? You don't. You're going to meet your parents and you're going to check things out. And so slow things down and don't be pushed into any sort of deal. I often say to people, when buying a car from myself or one of my colleagues, if I have to sell you the vehicle, perhaps we need to slow things down, because I will give you the benefits of the car. If it's not talking to you inside, then slow down and perhaps look elsewhere. So if you've got to convince yourself to buy that vehicle, there's a very good reason that you should be maybe slowing things down a whole lot. And don't get fooled into the deal of a century. I'm not saying that they aren't around. I've been doing this for 30 years. And trust me, deal of the centuries happen. I can count them on probably 1.5 hands. Just slow things down and don't be fooled by a salesman saying, I've got 17 other people waiting to buy this vehicle. And if you don't buy this right now, you're going to miss out on the deal of the century. Well, then put your hands up and slow things down and say, look, I'm not sure. However, if it is something scarce, for example, Toyota Fortuners, Toyota Hiluxes, Prados, and Land Cruiser 200 series, you can go onto the internet, you can go onto AutoTrader, and let's pull out a Land Cruiser 200. On the top left corner there, in the year, in your price range, it will say how many of those vehicles are being advertised currently in South Africa. Now, if there are 6 available, and the one you're looking at has the best mileage, don't muck around, buy the
Buy
flipping
it.
car.
Yes.
Buy it.
Yes, buy
And
it.
if
Yes, absolutely.
2,300 of the same vehicle, slow things down. You are in a
Yes.
bargaining position to have a dip at the salesman and say, listen, brother, we need to look at a deal.
Yep. And you know, Mike, at one time you did say to us, buy a car in a certain time of the month when people are trying to make their budgets. And you can get a better
Well,
deal. You're the one who gave
absolutely.
us that idea.
Of course, of course. Anybody that goes into a dealership round about now, the 27th, until the last day of the month, is in a massive advantage, has a massive advantage bargaining with that dealer. We have targets, we have criteria to reach, and when you are scrapping for any deal, you are the most powerful person in these last few days of the month. Another thing to remember, and my colleagues are going to hate me for this, if you want the very best deal on a vehicle, you go in at this time of month, and if you have a trade-in, do not tell them you have a trade-in. That's your ace in your sleeve.
Okay.
Negotiate the best deal possible with the proverbial sewer rat. And once that deal is done, you say, I forgot to tell you, I have a trade-in. And I promise you, it's like getting smacked in the face, because it then means you've gone in as a dealer with your best possible deal. And now, generally speaking, people have an expectation of their trade-in's value, which differs to that of the dealer. So now the dealer's got to work flipping hard. And you will get the very best for your trade-in, as will you get the deal. Another thing, they're going to try and squeeze you for on-the-road fees.
Yes.
Month end.
Really, Mike?
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Listen, some great advice there. We've unfortunately run out of time, but thank you very much for giving us your 30 years of experience in the trade in a very small nutshell. Mike Bradshaw, the owner of
Top Gear Cars.
Top Gear Car Sales. Yeah. Thank you, Sigi.
Thanks,
That was
Gerald.
Very
Nice-
interesting.
Yeah,
and
nice being here.
great information as well. And that's, I think, all we can do on this particular show is give you as much information as we can so that you can make an informed choice. We'll catch you again on the same show next week, Friday. Until then, have a good week. Bye-bye.